When Roman General Mark Antony met the Egyptian Queen Cleopatra, history was changed forever because their encounter was not only the beginning of one of the most passionate love stories in history, but also the spark that altered the fate of Rome and Egypt alike. For Antony, already a celebrated commander and right-hand man of Julius Caesar, found in Cleopatra a woman whose beauty, intelligence, and ambition matched his own hunger for greatness. And Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt, saw in Antony both the strength of a soldier and the vulnerability of a man who could love her beyond the realm of politics. So their meeting on the golden barge upon the Nile with Cleopatra dressed as the goddess Isis, and Antony, bewitched by her entrance, set the stage for a romance that would outshine the stars of their time, and as they conversed, laughed, and shared wine under the moonlit sky, what began as an alliance of necessity soon transformed into an irresistible bond, one that neither Rome's Senate nor Egypt's priests could control. For Cleopatra's wit, her command of languages, her knowledge of philosophy, and her charm in Antony's heart, while Antony's bravery, his charisma, and his loyalty gave Cleopatra a partner she could trust in a world of betrayal and shifting power. And so the days turned into nights, and the nights into years, as the lovers lived extravagantly in Alexandria, creating a life of banquets, hunts, and political strategy, raising children together and merging their destinies. Yet while their love blossomed, Rome grew restless because Octavian, later Augustus, the adopted heir of Julius Caesar, saw Antony's devotion to Cleopatra as both a weakness and a threat, accusing him of abandoning Rome for an Egyptian queen, of sending Rome's gold across the seas, of betraying Roman virtues for foreign luxuries. And so propaganda spread, painting Cleopatra as a sorceress and Antony as her puppet. But in truth, Antony willingly surrendered to love, for he was a man torn between two worlds. Rome with its iron discipline and Egypt with its intoxicating freedom, and as war drums beat louder, Antony and Cleopatra stood together, defying the Senate, declaring their children rulers of the Eastern, dreaming of an empire that stretched beyond Rome's imagination. Yet destiny is often cruelest to those who dare to love too greatly, and at the Battle of Actium their fleets, though vast and shining under the Mediterranean sun, faltered against Octavian's strategy, betrayal from allies, and shifting winds, forcing Antony and Cleopatra to retreat, their dream unraveling before their eyes. And while Rome cheered Octavian's victory, in Alexandria the lovers clung tighter to each other, refusing to surrender, choosing instead to write their final chapter in their own terms. So when Antony, hearing false news that Cleopatra had died, fell upon his sword rather than live without her, and Cleopatra, upon seeing her beloved dying in her arms, carried him to her hidden chamber where she kissed him one last time as his life faded away. History recorded not just their fall but their defiance, for Cleopatra soon chose to follow him, arranging for the bite of an ASP to take her life, preferring death to the humiliation of chains in Rome. And so the lovers who had shaken empires, inspired poets, and terrified rulers departed the world together, leaving Octavian victorious but haunted by the legend of their love. And in that final act, Antony and Cleopatra transcended politics, power, and time, becoming symbols of devotion so fierce that it destroyed kingdoms, and yet so eternal that centuries later their story still stirs hearts, reminding us that sometimes love, even when doomed, can echo louder than conquest, for their tale was not merely about passion, but about daring to love against the tide of nations, about choosing each other when the world demanded otherwise, about crafting a life of beauty in the face of hostility. And even in death, their names are forever bound. Antony and Cleopatra. Two souls whose fire burned so brightly it lit the pages of history itself, making them not just lovers but legends eternal. For every account of their feasts, their battles, their whispers under starlight, and their final embraces only deepens the truth that though empires rise and fall, love, real love, endures. And thus the world will forever say that when Roman general Mark Antony met the Egyptian queen Cleopatra, history was indeed changed forever.